And check out this Washington Examiner headline, everyone. It says here, Biden wants the U.S. to be dependent on China for solar energy. And it calls the president's recent decision to invoke the Defense Production Act to manufacture solar panels a victory for Chinese corporations. And that's because
it's all because it prevents the Department of Commerce from imposing new tariffs on imports of Chinese-made solar components. It also comes a month after the agency launched an investigation into whether China is avoiding paying tariffs by sending their parts through other countries that import solar panels to the United States. Joining us to discuss this is the author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War and the Coming Collapse of China, Gordon Chang. Gordon, always great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, John.
Now, Joe Biden's own Commerce Department just launched an investigation to find out if Chinese companies that make these solar panel parts are funneling them through companies that make them in other places like Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam to avoid these same tariffs. And we can't forget the reason why these tariffs exist in the first place is because these components are being manufactured by Uyghur slaves. It's almost like the Biden administration wants us to become dependent on these Chinese solar panel parts.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Because after this Monday announcement, this was a dog whistle because companies in the U.S. that were thinking of shifting production back into U.S. soil decided to drop their plans. The change in attitude was substantial and it was noticeable. You know, we have to be clear about what's going on here. China is making solar panels in China. It's then shipping them to places, especially Vietnam. And then they are changing the boxes and saying made in Vietnam. And for 24 months, even though we know this is going on, nothing can be done about this. And by the way, this wasn't the Commerce Department launching an investigation. This was launched at the instigation of a small company in California making solar panels, Oxen Solar, because they knew what was going on and they wanted to stop it.
Incredible. That company there raising this story. Gordon, if we can talk about Taiwan now. China is threatening to seize the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. As you know, they make more than half of the world's custom computer chips. And this is the same company that makes Apple's iPhone chips. Well, a Chinese economist is now saying the seizure would happen if the U.S. applies new sanctions on China, and that China could also stop this chip maker's current plans, which is to build 6 plants here in the U.S. Seeing that the threat comes about a week after Biden said the U.S. would respond if Taiwan is attacked, do you think this is a serious threat from this economist?
Yes, one could say, well, she was just talking off the top of her head, and people do say things like that. But the point is, it's unlikely that she spoke on her own. I think it's more likely that she was speaking at the direction of the Communist Party, and they were trying to intimidate the United States and Taiwan. So, Bianca, this is important because this could very well be the Communist Party speaking, not just some lower-level economist.
Gordon, we also want to talk to you about South Korea and the United States, and we see some new cooperation there thanks to the new Korean president, Yoon Suk-yeol. He seems like he's more concerned with South Korea's security than appeasing Kim Jong-un, which I think you could say that was the goal maybe of the previous Korean president. U.S. and South Korean officials have also warned North Korea from carrying out any nuclear tests. The State Department says that would be met with a, quote, forceful and swift response. And we've seen Pyongyang conduct 18 rounds of ballistic missile launches in 2022 alone, but we also see the South and the U.S. responding with their own tests. How important is this new, more muscular approach when it comes to pushing back against Kim's aggression there in the region?
This is one of the most interesting developments. If the U.S. were to have a quote-unquote forceful response, this would be a stark departure from prior policy. And given what's going on in North Korea, South Korea, and China, this could lead, of course, to a wider conflict. I think that it's good that we actually put force on the table. But when Wendy Sherman, Deputy Secretary of State, said that, it certainly got people in the region to notice. I do hope the U.S. will have a more muscular policy, but we need to have more than just words, John. We need to back this up if indeed North Korea goes through with that detonation of a device.
One thing we've talked about before, Gordon, is we'll give credit where credit is due, and it seems like they're talking the right game now, but as you indicated, will they walk the same game they're talking? That's what we have to wait and see. Gordon Chang, great to see you as always.
Thanks, John and Bianca.
Hey, I'm Xfinity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.